Center field. McKenna is over, and the Orioles take the series in New York.
Tonight, coming off of a tough series loss against the Orioles, we will take a look at the newest Yankee pitching tonight, Randy Vazquez, and tell you what you can expect. Also, we'll dig into the struggles of Oswaldo Cabrera and Anthony Volpe and get your comments on both. All that coming up next.
Struck him out swinging high fastball.
Hey.
Welcome back, everybody. I am here with Mr. Pete Simonetti. Frankie has the night off. He is investigating the paranormal at Skinwalker Ranch. Pete, Aaron Boone has been suspended for tonight's game, but we will both be working. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. What do you think about Boone being suspended for frequent abuse of the umpires?
Oh, that's my boonie. Let me tell you right now. That is my boonie. I'll be honest, though, man. Is MLB going to look at last night's umpire, who might be one of the worst umpires I've ever seen in Major League Baseball? No joke. He was terrible yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys who likes to blame the umpires because I don't feel like any one call typically makes or breaks a game, but it was like every at-bat was changed.
Yeah, he was just visibly bad, though. Like the first 3 innings were horrific. After that, maybe he got a little better. But the first 3 innings, I remember saying, and I'm like, somebody's getting thrown out of this game today. Like both sides were visibly upset, and they had a right to be. It was bad. It was really bad.
So we got a Major League debut tonight, guy we're looking at on the screen, Mr. Randy Vasquez. Let me just go through his numbers real quick. 1-5 at AAA, 4.85 ERA, 42 2/3 innings, 50 strikeouts. Just what I've never seen him pitch live other than a couple of times in spring training when he's just getting loose. Great curveball, good fastball, but that's pretty much all I know about him. Odd mechanics. What are your thoughts on Vasquez? Can you tell us anything else?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I think we can maybe take a little bit into account is he has ice in his veins. I think pitching in New York's not going to bother him. The reason I say this, he threw a no-hitter in a championship game last year. And obviously, I was going to say a complete game no-hitter. A no-hitter. He threw a no-hitter in a championship game last year. Great fastball, tons of movement. And that's unfortunately his problem, is that it's hard to control. And that's the biggest issue for him right now, is that the ball moves all over the place. He has a great curveball, as you alluded to, one of the best in the Yankee system, and it's really not even close. He has a filthy curveball, good cutter, which everybody knows the Yankees absolutely love. Not much of a changeup, but he has those 2 pitches, no doubt about it. Maybe a guy that gets them through the order twice. I don't know, what we could really expect besides maybe a couple of decent innings.
Yeah. It worries me having to face, Tatis and, some of the other Soto in your debut. I mean, that's a tough. I was talking to my friend who's a Padres fan, though, and I asked him who's hot and who's not in this lineup. And he said, nobody's really swinging a very hot bat right now. He said that the starting pitching hasn't been giving them very many innings. They've got kind of the same problem as we do, where they got a good bullpen, but they're kind of overtaxed right now.
Right.
So, if he can keep us in the game five innings maybe, I'm happy with it. Would love to get 6. Like, occasionally you'll see a guy come up from the minor leagues and just be awesome in his debut, but it's rare. So I'd say 5 innings, 3 runs. Would you sign up for that right now?
100%. No doubt about it. Yeah, that's definitely what, if you get that from him, you're happy. The main thing for him you're going to learn, I think, very, very early is he throwing strikes? I think this is, by the way, too, this is a pretty fun fact about him. It's the first time he's ever been in the Major League ballpark.
Right. Not even a fan.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, nuts. Wow. Like, not even as a fan, nothing. This is the first time on the mound. But again, the only evidence, like I said before, is that we have a little something that he could probably handle this stage is, pitching a championship game in the minor leagues is pretty big. And he threw a no-hitter. He was fully composed and absolutely dominated. See those pitches on the screen right there. Amazing movement. I mean, look at that. Great movement. If he's getting some calls tonight, it'll be even better. I think the big thing today is all about fastball command. At this level, you could have the greatest off-speed pitch in the world. If your fastball's not there, they're going to hit you. And he needs to have that command tonight.
Ron Bees says that he throws a heavy fastball. And to the casual fans, heavy fastball means it has some sink.
Yeah.
It kind of dives down in the zone. Now, you made a comparison before we started. Who was the guy that his delivery reminds you of?
Yeah, so yesterday was the first. I had Dane on yesterday. Dane and Yankees Farm. I was using Yankee Farm's video, and the minute I saw him a couple of more times, I go, man, he starts from the stretch, just like Marcus Stroman does.
Hmm.
He doesn't fall off the mound as much, but I see a lot of Marcus Stroman in him.
Yeah. I look at him and I see Ivan Nova. I'm sure you remember Nova.
Former Yankee great.
Yeah, I see kind of the arm angle also falling off towards first base. Now, Clark Schmidt does the same type of thing, and I just wanted to explain to fans why that happens. So when you're driving towards home plate, you really want to get all your momentum pushing directly towards home plate. But if you open up that front shoulder or those front hips a little bit early, that causes your arm slot to kind of position to kind of drop at a kind of a lower angle, and it kind of spins you off your axis and towards first base. Now, it happens to lefties too. CC used to go towards third base. That's why people used to always bunt on CC. I always love pitchers when they generate all of their momentum towards home plate and they end up in a good fielding position. Guys like Mike Messina, Garrett Cole,
Randy Johnson.
Very much. But when you see a guy who's kind of fallen off like this, it's an indication that his mechanics are just a little bit out of whack, and that can lead to some control issues, which we've seen.
Yep.
His stuff is also very nasty, and when I see him, I don't see a lot of leg usage. If you watch it, he just kind of glides. That's what scouts will say. He glides. But there's no arguing with the stuff. Guy can hit triple digits, good curveball.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope that he can give us something. How you feeling about the bullpen tonight?
Oof, my God. I don't know how I feel about the bullpen every day. My biggest concern right now with the Yankees is, and I think we talked about this last time, is on this show in Designated Spit is that I feel like the Yankees really got to target relief pitching at some point. It doesn't matter how good Mike King is. Doesn't matter how good Clay Holmes has been recently. Doesn't matter how good we believe Wandy Peralta is. The biggest problem that I'm concerned about with the Yankees is, are these guys going to last until July? You know what I mean? I'm like, at this point, I'm kind of like, who is going to be in this team's bullpen come July? And I know we're getting Tommy Kahnle back very, very soon. That is a welcome addition if there ever is one. But they really have to try to piece it together. And there's going to have to be new arms coming in. There's just going to have to be, unless this team's pen is going to be absolutely shot come August.
Absolutely. I want to move on to topic number 2, Oswaldo Cabrera. Now, he's somebody that you mentioned you want to talk about. I have a few things to say about him as well. He's had a little bit of a larger sample size than, either Anthony Volpe or Oswaldo Peraza. He's gotten a lot of playing time. He's played a lot of positions, obviously a switch hitter. But I think maybe the league has kind of figured out how to pitch him a little bit, because every at-bat, he doesn't look overmatched, but they're consistently getting ground balls out of him. Like, they know how to induce ground balls from him, and he hasn't been able to counter it. And while I'm a proponent of giving young players a chance to progress and a chance to play and work out the cobwebs, I feel like he's in one of those mechanical ruts where he really just needs an extended amount of at-bats in the minor leagues to fix it. What are your thoughts on Oswaldo?
I'm right there with you, man. I said it the other day too. It's kind of one of those things where you look at him and go, he probably needs a confidence builder.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go to a level again and go, man, yeah, I can do this. I could play at the higher levels. Got to just get it going. Maybe in the minor leagues. But another thing I'll say, and I tend to just come, always straightforward about certain things. I've been telling fans this a lot. Oswaldo Peraza was also never supposed to be Anthony Volpe or Oswaldo Peraza. He was never supposed to be that type of player. Now, he came on very quick, and you could see the things last year that we all liked about him. And all of us said he should be on the team, to start the year, no question. My thing with him is, you're spot on with that, is that pitchers have found out how to pitch to him. Mm-hmm. Pitchers know what to do against this guy. He's hitting a lot of weak ground balls at second base. He's doing that a lot. That means he's always out in front. Yep. They know what they're doing. He doesn't have enough. He hasn't made the adjustment to do what he did right there on that pitch, is to wait and extend his arms fully out over the plate and drive the ball. He hasn't been able to do that. And that is, again, the toughest league in the world, folks, Major League Baseball. They will find you out very, very quickly. And that's why we preach patience with a lot of these guys. But I also want to say Cabrera has been given time. You
Got 2
can't sit
months.
there and go, hey, look, brother, he's only got 54 at bats. He has quite a bit of time. So at some point, you do got to look at Anthony Volpe could struggle, but we can't have 6 other guys struggling.
Right.
We can't have 3 other guys really hitting under 200. We got to figure out who to go. And let's be honest, he's going way before Volpe's going.
Yeah. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. You have to pick and choose, who you're going to let adjust at the major league level, but you can't have everybody. You can't have half the team adjusting to major league pitching at the same time. You're not going to hit anybody. Right. You're scoring runs. And part of it, I think, might be that he's been moving around so much on defense and he's been changing all these positions. He hasn't had a chance to really get comfortable and sink in. I would send him down to AAA, play him every day in left field for 2-3 weeks, and just say, I don't care what you hit down here. Focus on hitting the ball in the air. I don't care if you fly out to the deepest part of the ballpark, if you pop it up, focus on getting under the ball, getting out in front, without sacrificing timing, and it's frustrating to watch because he got off to such a great start last year.
And he just needs it for the confidence too. I mean, truly just for the confidence. It's a big thing, You guys got to remember too, every time he goes to bat, he sees that batting average. I mean, guys still look at those numbers and go, man, I mean, like, that's bad. You know what I mean? That's why even when I talk about Cabrera, I talk about Volpe. I guarantee you guys, if you asked Anthony Volpe, hey, Anthony, you think you should be hitting 199? He's going, hell no. Of course not.
Right.
These guys know it as much as we do.
Oh, man. All right, let's take a look at some Anthony Volpe because he's another guy who's hitting 199.
Yep.
I put out a couple of pieces, a small video, a tweet this morning. I'm trying to steer people towards patience with Volpe because
of course.
What people I think are neglecting to realize because they don't watch AAA is that he barely played in AAA. He's essentially getting AAA and the major leagues at the same time, right?
Correct.
He played 3 weeks at AAA, and he lost a year to COVID. So he has had a very, very short road to the major leagues, and he's shown some flashes of greatness. We saw the grand slam. We saw the big home run in Toronto. He's made a number of fantastic plays. He's struggling sometimes with more of the routine stuff, which is something that I think can happen to younger players. You kind of take for granted that you're going to make that play, but maybe misjudge how hard these major leaguers hit the ball sometimes. Yep. I think as a younger player, it can be easy to lose focus, even though we know that he's a heads-up ball player. Just being a kid, just being 22, you lose focus. I mean, look at her in the stands, that type of thing.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm not saying he's doing that, but I'm saying that's just character. I would have done that, So
I do. I got my fiance upstairs, and I do it during the game.
Might want to keep that to yourself. Just as a guy who's been married 10 years this year. So let me just throw a couple of things at you. Before the season, you and I were almost in total agreement. And I think in retrospect, this is the way the Yankees should have gone. Volpe at second, Peraza at short, Gleyber traded for other pieces to fill in some depth. Yep. Now you got this issue where Peraza's tearing the fucking cover off the ball in AAA and looks good, better defensively, and now we're having the questions about Volpe's defense. His outs below average have fallen below major league average.
That's right.
Do you think that the Yankees will do you think they even have the capacity to even bring that up and say, hey, look, maybe we shift him over, trade Gleyber, do it now? Or do you think it's just, all right, just give me your thoughts.
Yeah, no, man, I don't. I've been asked that multiple times too. And again, we can sit here and say it. Me and Derek, we've been talking a whole lot over the last couple of months, and we both said it. We said that, we would go with short Peraza, second Volpe. And, I just can't see the Yankees ever switching that. I really can't. I know some people go, maybe they do in the offseason and they go about it that way. Maybe. But during the year to sit there and go, the golden boy isn't the golden boy.
It didn't work. I can't see them.
Yeah, I can't see them sitting there going, hey, me and Dane talked to a advanced scout for the Tampa Bay Rays. Mm-hmm. And we asked him about the whole situation with Volpe. And he's right. I mean, he said, look, what everybody has to remember is that shortstop for the New York Yankees is a marketable spot. He has the story and everything else. They're going to go with that. And he said he thinks their plan all along was that no matter what happened. So I'm happy you bring up Peraza because I got to do this. And I put a tweet about this today. We got to show some love to what Oswaldo Peraza has done. Yeah. Here's a guy who hit 300 last year, comes into spring training, struggles, loses the job, goes to AAA, gets called up, rots on the bench, doesn't get consistent at-bats, gets injured, gets sent back down, and all he has done is hit. Mm-hmm. That's all he has done. He could have put his head in the sand and go, man, I'm never going to get a chance. He's hitting like 350 plus with 1,000 OPS in AAA.
Yeah.
In the level that Anthony Volpe basically got to skip and has been given the golden ticket to say, go play ball. Peraza is busting it every single day, trying, figuring out where my spot is. And I salute him and I tip my cap to him.
I'm going to pull up his stats real quick so we can take a look. 72 at-bats in AAA. And look, I'm somebody I mentioned, I went on a tirade about this last night, about Estevan Florial. Some guys hit AAA pitching because they're AAA, quadruple A ball players. Some guys hit AAA pitching because they're ready for the major leagues. I think Peraza is the latter. I think he's a guy who's just genuinely has nothing left to prove in AAA. If you remember at the end of last season, he was scorching hot at AAA. Yep. And I think he's just at that point where AAA pitchers don't know how to get him out anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that you've got a guy who was your number 2 prospect coming into the league or coming into the season. He's not even on the prospect list anymore because he quote unquote graduated. And now he's stuck in the minors. It has a little bit of that Clint Frazier, a little bit of that Miguel Andujar mishandling kind of feel to it. Yeah. But 968 OPS with 5 dingers already. We know what he can do defensively. What do you see as the future for him if he's not going to get a shot? I mean, trade piece or what?
Well, the crazy thing about it is you got to look at it in so many different ways. And this is going to be a question that is going to be asked. If this doesn't happen at the deadline, it's going to happen at some point. But we got to ask the question, and we're going to continue talking about this. Are the Yankees ready to give Gleyber Torres a contract extension? Are they going to give him 6, 7, 8 years, $16, $17, $18 million a season?
No.
Are the Yankees, and that's where I stand.
None.
So again, yes, Torres is a good player, but you have to make your mind up. Unless the Yankees come out of nowhere and go, hey, we want to keep Gleyber, we like him. We're going to re-sign him. Peraza, you're the third baseman next year. And that's the future of their infield. But I can't see Yankees going, hey, here's $16 million, $17 million for Torres. I just can't see it. And Peraza, the cool thing is, at the major league level, we got to see him play second. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, he looked phenomenal at third base.
Yeah.
He has a cannon. So the more I see it, I go, do I want to waste his arm and put him at second? Because I don't believe the Yankees will say, hey, here's shortstop. Anthony, you're better at second base. The arm is better at second base. It's better for the whole team. Since I don't see that happening, maybe third base is his spot.
Maybe. Yeah.
But it's so confusing. And this goes back to what you said. I still think it's the quote of the year so far. The Yankees lack direction. And that's what you're seeing here with him. They got a guy in Josh Donaldson coming back. What's Donaldson going to do?
Donaldson, I think, inhibits the team because he takes a roster spot sure, he might have a couple of big home runs. He'll probably make some nice plays at third base, but he's not a future of the team. He's the past, right?
That's right.
This isn't the 2016 Blue Jays here. Josh Donaldson does not factor into the future of this organization. I think despite the marketability factor, if you're just considering what makes us the best baseball team, which is where I feel like you need Hal Steinbrenner to be that alpha. I don't want to hear about how, Cash can do whatever he wants and he can spend whatever he wants. I need somebody to make the decisions. I need somebody to make the calls, right? And that's where Hal has to come in. And I honestly think the better baseball team is Volpe at second base. And you can't tell me that Volpe wouldn't be a tremendous second baseman.
Yeah, great. Way better.
And he fits the profile fucking perfectly.
Yes,
he's smaller of stature. Yep. He's quick. He's gritty. He's Dustin Pedroia. That's who 100%. He is.
100%. And you know the scary thing is, I really hope in 5 years we're not looking back at this going, this didn't work. Yeah. I really hope not, but you never know. And that's the scary thing is you don't want to go back on what you did. That's why it's always good to make the first correct step.
Yep.
And the correct step was Peraza at short, Volpe at second base. It was always there for them. It was the most logical thing. The Yankees saw Peraza in the postseason. I think it was the first pitch of the game. He made a dive and stop and threw the guy out. It was a good play.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you saw this and saw this. He also was hitting at the level. And, you look at it now and go, nobody would complain. There's not one Yankee fan here right now to go, oh, man, they did that. Come on.
Yeah.
Even if Glaber had the same number somewhere else, there's no Yankee fan out there going, damn, I'm so mad they actually trusted the young kids they've been telling us about forever.
Yeah.
This is something that fans are okay with. Fans are okay with, well, a lot of them, not all of them, with young players struggling. Fans understand that if you look at the lineup, it should be Rizzo, Torres, or Rizzo, Judge, LeMahieu. These guys, Stanton, those guys should be driving in the runs.
Mm-hmm.
These other guys should be able to just be who they are and get ready for this level. And unfortunately now, with all these guys getting beat up, and all the injuries on the team and a lot of guys not performing, you look at these kids and it's unfair.
Right. So the lineup tonight, might as well talk through it. It's not as bad as I thought. But I got to say, it's interesting that Calhoun keeps getting opportunities when we've got guys with more pop available at that DH position. I do think that maybe some of their hope in Bowers is dissipating. My hope in Bowers is pretty much all but gone. Can't hit a high fastball, can't lay off of it.
Yep.
Torres been swinging the bat a little bit better. Maybe now's the time to capitalize on him swinging the bat and deal him. You got a hot guy ready to step in and replace him. Yep. A hot guy. Got a hot guy ready to step in.
Got a hot guy on the team, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Got a hot guy.
All right, that's going into the out of context, I'm sure, Frankie.
Oh, 100%.
Rortvedt getting a start for the second night in a row. I thought your take last night was fantastic because I had the same thought. Why in the hell are you pinch hitting for Rortvedt when you need somebody to get on base? Who's the only guy who got on base twice?
And what's even worse, Derek, is after the game, he goes, I just wanted somebody that could get on base. Give us a better opportunity. What were you really not watching this game at all?
Right.
Like, what were you doing in the back?
Best at bats of the game.
Easy. Not even close.
I've been impressed with his swing, too. He hits the ball hard. It's short. It's compact.
Doesn't he look, he's intimidating when he bats.
He just doesn't look like the kind of guy you want to mess with. Like he's
not at all. Not at all. He looks to me when I see him up there, I'm like, this guy's about to do some damage.
Yeah.
Like he looks like one of those guys that is like he's gonna drive the ball somewhere.
Yeah.
I like Rortvedt. I'm happy he's starting again tonight.
IKF back out there in left field. He's low-key been swinging the bat a little bit better lately.
Yes.
But I don't like the idea that we have to count on IKF to step up and hit in left field,
It's again, poor roster construction, and it's what we've been talking about for a long time, but that's exactly what it is.
All right. Any final thoughts? We're going to wrap up here pretty soon. This game is on Apple TV. Any final thoughts before we get into this series with the Padres?
No, not really. Besides, Randy Vasquez tonight, we'll see how he does. I think the Yankees do got a couple of guys coming back that can help him. Stanton is going to be starting a rehab assignment soon. So, there's a couple of things to definitely look forward to, but, it feels like, again, this team moves when Aaron Judge does.
Yeah.
And if Aaron Judge is hitting in a game, they got a good shot of winning. If he's not, it's going to be a tough night. And they need to fix that. And the great thing is, to be honest, they have many different ways to structure and fix up this lineup. A couple of those guys are in the minor leagues. Like you said, Calhoun keeps getting at bats. Typically, the best thing Calhoun does, every now and then, he might hit a home run. Every very, very rare now and then. Or he'll hit a base hit every now and then.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I'm not a huge believer in him. He'll go 3 for 4 tonight because I said that.
Yeah.
And other than that, just play baseball. Play baseball. The day with the bunt and all that mess, I mean, it was just so ugly recently. It's like a team that's desperate. Like, go out there and play on a high and try to win this series.
I want to see some attitude tonight. I want to see some edge. It seems like the last couple of nights, especially when the Orioles had that 7 or 8 run inning the other night. It just seemed to take the wind out of the Yankees' sails, and I saw a lot of heads hanging. I saw a lot of guys just kind of mulling around last night. Didn't really have the fire. Kind of felt like they weren't going to win. I want to see them come out with a chance to win this series and play with that energy from Jump Street tonight. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. You want to do the wrap-up dance with me? Let's do the wrap-up.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Game over. I gotta get out of here.
NYY News TV, getting ready to call the game, calling every game. And once again, September 23rd, come and meet us. We'll be at the suite. I'm bringing a few people. We're going to have Frankie Baseball there. You get to watch me eat way too much pasta. It's going to be a fun time. Guys, appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.